Howdy, I'm Cam. Fuck.
Hi, I'm Gina. Fuck me, dude. Hi, I'm Gina. I'm a member of Numnuts.
I am Bonded Odin 49 and my nuts are numb.
Howdy, I'm Drew the Derg, co-founder and member of the Numnuts.
Hi, I'm Dr. D's and I'm the fuck.
Hello, my name is Zach and I'm a co-founder and a ex-member of Numnuts.
Hi, I'm Dr. D's and I am a former fuck. Oh my.
Let me type it out for you. Hold on.
What's up? I'm Talk to Guest, and I was the founder of Talk to the Group, a now dead group channel.
Hi, I'm Dr. D's and I was a former member of the Fuck Nuggets.
And that used to be in a semi-competition with Numnuts. Though I used to be a part of the Numnuts.
My mind blanked.
Just keep it like short and simple. Like,
gotcha.
like kind of how I said it. Like,
Hi, I'm Sora, former editor and member of Numnuts and Talk to the Group.
Hi, I'm Talk to Guest. I was the founder of Talk to the Group and former member of the Numnuts.
Well, hello, I am JB20, and I'm a former member of Numnuts.
Hello, my name is Laserbeam, and I am the main artist for the Numnuts.
hi, I'm VanTubeMT, and I'm the founder, editor, lead producer, and member of Numnuts. And this is the Story of Numnuts. One of the first things that led up to Numnuts was all the way back in 2023. At that time, Buster had gathered a group of people to start a podcast. The group consisted of me, Buster, RC Memes, Burrow, and maybe Odin. I don't really remember. Nothing ever even really happened with it. Hell, I don't even remember the name, but it inspired me to start my own podcast, this time consisting of me, Buster, Odin, and Dr. D's Nuts, and we called it the Fuck Nuggets.
Fuck Nuggets, more like fuck all. We didn't do shit.
I do remember showing up only once. I think you're ambitious, and I don't exactly know if starting a podcast is a suitable thing to do for most people, I'd say.
After that failed, though, everything lay dormant until I remember it specifically. It was February 25th, 2024, where I tried to bring back the Fuck Nuggets, but with a new crew. I kept Buster, but then I recruited Drew the Derg and Zockness. But I had to change the name since YouTube probably wouldn't like fuck in the name of a channel. So we stayed on the theme of like insults, and we landed on Numnuts. What were the first several weeks of Numnuts like?
In my 6 or 7 weeks being a numbnut, it was pretty joyful. I mean, got to make videos, didn't really get any subscribers from it, but I was really just doing it for fun, because, why not just make some videos with some friends,
It was mostly just us messing around. We didn't really have a schedule for making stuff. It was just like, oh, that looks cool, maybe we should do that. And half the time we didn't even upload the videos we filmed, if I remember correctly.
Our first recording we ever did was the Name Sound Alikes one. The only thing I remember from it was that after a while it just evolved into looking at funny cars for some reason. No one ever really got around to editing it, so I just grabbed a couple of clips and turned it into a YouTube short.
It was like, I think it was like some kind of Volkswagen Beetle or something. And there was like all the redneck engineering where they built like a camper shell on the back of a 90s Dodge pickup.
A lot of this era was just the crew getting on call to hang out, honestly. That's what happened with our original Terraria playthrough. What was the original Terraria playthrough like?
It was fun, not gonna lie, it was fun. It was also fun, not gonna lie.
I built a replica of the Twin Towers, and I dug a giant trench around the house area so the corruption wouldn't get into it. And I remember we ended up getting rid of everything underground, like right under the base, so it was like just empty for hundreds of blocks down, because we hollowed out everything where my trench was. And then we quit using the world because we weren't making any videos with it, so we just blew up the Twin Towers.
It was actually the first time I ever beat the game. I remember Zoc moved out of our giant pyramid house to live in his own little bunker near it, where we had the mushroom guy. We did one recording on it, and it was when we first started the world, but we just never got around to editing it and decided to just keep playing it and not record it. It was very fun. I like that world. Zoc was the owner of it though, so it's probably been like a year since I've been on it. What was Talk to the Group like?
It was interesting to say the least. It was a bit of a hassle to try to get people together to record and whatnot, but it was a fun time. I edited some of the videos, Fox did most of it, but it was pleasant for when it was a thing.
I remember hardly ever being in videos, because I hardly ever got asked to, or if I was asked to, I wasn't available at the time.
Well, I was only ever in one video, and that was, what was it? I think a Terraria one. It was pretty fun, what I experienced of it.
What was the competition like between the two channels?
It was kind of vague, in my opinion. There wasn't really much of competition, but it was like more of an implied competition. There was a big gap between the Numnuts and Talk to the Group. I believe the Talk to the Group channel had like 200 or so subscribers, and Numnuts had like 50, so it was a pretty big gap, all things considered, but it was nice to have that bit of competition, remind ourselves, to keep moving forward.
By the time we uploaded our first actual video that wasn't a YouTube short, Talk to the Group was gone. I remember Guest uploaded a YouTube short reacting to the Numnut shorts, and all I can say is that it has aged horribly. I remember we planned to release a diss track against the group, and that's where the songs Thank and Leave off my album came from. This was around the time Kendrick dropped Meet the Gram, so I took quite a bit of inspiration from it. I think they found out about it though and thought we were like serious about it, when in reality it was just for shits and giggles. Although this was a time where I did not like Fox, and Drew was also having some drama with him and stir-frying group, so maybe not, maybe we said a couple lines a little bit harder than others, so sadly they disbanded soon before we actually started uploading stuff.
There was an internal conflict between the group. I wasn't there when it happened, but I read through it, and apparently something happened between Stir Fry and a Dangerous Fox, something about them having a miscommunication, and then it split to two different sides, and eventually it led to Stir Fry permanently leaving, and then the whole thing kind of fell off from there.
I caused it.
I think the last thing we recorded before we made actual content was a podcast episode. I don't remember anything from it, other than it was the reason we kicked Zoc from the group. During that recording, we thought that we realized Zoc didn't really fit in with the group, that he was like too crazy and nonsensical with his humor, like very brain rotted. So we got Zoc on a call and told him what we thought.
At first I was mad, but then I really didn't give a shit after like a day.
I regret it a lot. The entire point of Numnuts is that we're a bunch of idiots doing dumb shit and shit goes wrong. And Zoc is like the perfect person to be a part of that. That's like his entire shtick.
Would I return? Probably not. Because I kind of don't want to do videos anymore, not gonna lie. Solo recording is way better than like doing it with multiple people, because then you gotta get everybody's thing, So I don't think I would return if given the opportunity.
I think May was when we actually started recording stuff. The plan was to make a couple of videos before uploading them so we could have a schedule, which was one video every Friday at 12 p.m. Mountain Time. I don't remember which video we recorded first, but I remember it was Lethal Company, Among Us, Terraria, and Minecraft. It's hard to make a bad Lethal Company video. Like, Lethal Company is such a fun game to play with friends, and it is the perfect way for us to unleash our stupidity, in which we did. This is in our top 3 best videos, without a doubt. I think this was the second video we recorded, because before it was the Minecraft video where my mic didn't record, and then in this one I once again had mic problems. I think what happened was that in Streamlabs the audio selection menu was corrupted, so no audio device was actually like detected. I think it made it a little bit better though, in those moments where it just cuts to me in like complete silence while I'm staring at a spider or a loot bug. What was the Among Us recording like?
Hell.
I would say chaotic. It was chaotic, but it was fun, to be honest. Just a bit hard to understand sometimes what people were saying.
It was fun, don't get me wrong. But Among Us recordings in general are hellish to deal with because we had so many technical difficulties. It took us like, I think, an hour to get everybody even into the lobby in the first place. And then the whole time JB was crashing. And we took so long to get everyone into the lobby that the lobby like expired and we had to start over again.
One thing I love about this video is that it just shows how fun Among Us is still. Like, there's a reason this game took over YouTube and streaming. It's a fun, chaotic experience with friends that has infinite replayability. And don't even really need to know everyone to enjoy it. Like, I guarantee JB, Zoc, and Cat Typhoon had no idea who most of these people were, yet they still clicked, like, instantly. It also spawned some good bits, too, like the Congo line strat and JB disconnecting are some of the greatest Numnuts bits of all time. Why did you keep disconnecting during the session?
In those times, we were with a company, of internet company that it was terrible, just fucking terrible. It was so slow in my room, especially. I don't know why, but my room is like is shielded from internet. It basically doesn't let the internet get in. I would be disconnecting most of the time. Not only with Among Us, with everything really, with Minecraft, with Roblox, anything that I played.
There wasn't really much to this video, honestly. It's one of our sleepers. Honestly, Buster carried it despite being the only one that hasn't played the game before. But that just makes it more funnier watching him get scared and amazed by the game. But other than that, it was alright personally. I am so sad this one got scrapped. It was a great recording, but it just got fucked up by my mic not recording, Buster's game audio not recording, and camera not recording for like half the session. Thank God we were able to save the Tony clip though.
All I can remember is there's being like a cliff. We spawned on a cliff. There's an island. The only thing I can remember, I don't know what we did. I don't know what there was talked about. No, there's a cliff. Oh, I also built that house with a really nice balcony. It was like a double-decker house.
What was it like editing the Minecraft video?
That was probably one of my favorite videos I've edited just ever in general. It was just really funny to put together, and I think, if I recall correctly, I was going for like a Vinesauce style of editing, where it was like cutting around a lot and only just the funny moments, really. Like, it was meant to be kind of like a highlights sort of video. But yeah, I think it turned out alright. I can't remember if it got uploaded or not.
After those recordings, Drew then had to disappear for 2 months, so we had to get someone to fill in for him.
I was working at this place called Camp Antigua as a tradescraft staff for the first 2 months of summer, and actually went back this summer and going back next summer because I'll get to be the area director for the area I worked in.
How did you feel about joining the crew at that time?
Well, you kind of DM'd me out of nowhere when I had it was right after I had joined your fucking server, and you were like, hey, Camba's not going to be able to be here for the summer, can you fill in? And I was like, sure, I guess. And then now I'm the one who showed up to the most recordings besides you. So I guess I was dubious at first, but I'm glad I accepted.
What were the Left 4 Dead recordings like?
Chaotic. Both of the Left 4 Dead videos were great. We had so much fun recording those. And I think the funniest moment still to me was the skeleton running by the door, which was the one moment you could show. God, that whole session was great. It was a lot of us just yelling at each other and panicking, and me doing a lot of friendly fire. I remember finding the Molotov box on the second session and spamming Molotovs at people until they got mad at me. But it was lots of joking around, lots of stupid shit. It was a lot of fun. It felt a lot like just having some buddies over and playing a stupid game.
It was fun. It definitely was fun. I do remember the part of them saying the thing of the weird mods that Gina couldn't show in the first episodes and whatnot. It was funny in a way, I just was kind of confused what was happening, and then the whole shown, or well, them showing it all, it was like, oh god, I didn't want to see that, but thank you very much, I suppose. But yeah, it was funny. It was chaotic but funny.
What was the Buster twerk bit about?
It was because he had, like, 2 days prior, had done a poll in his server where he's like, what should I do for my 100th video special or some shit? But one of the options on the poll was Buster twerk, and I think it was like 26-5 that between that and second place. So it was his own fault. And then we were joking after one of the sessions, and it was our inability to ever do an outro, and somehow that got brought up, and he kept freaking out about it, so we kept saying more of it.
Also, like 2 days after the first Left 4 Dead video got uploaded, we just had Gene and JB join the crew entirely.
Being honest, I was not expecting it at all, like in the slightest. But yeah, it was interesting. Like, again, I wasn't expecting it. I think that I was invited and everything. Just completely unexpected to me, because I've never really been in a group YouTube channel thingy. If anything, I haven't really been in many videos myself. I'm not the one that likes to just go around joining everything and whatnot. I prefer being lonely, but it was good. I liked it. I think that I was invited and everything.
I think around this time we also recruited Laserbeam to the crew to do some art for the channel. This fucking fly.
So currently I am just doing the banner for the YouTube channel. Honestly, it's been pretty chill so far. I mean, there's no complaints from me. The only complaint is just me taking forever to do things because of my work schedule.
The funny thing about Drew being gone was that we had so much content already in the backlog that he was only gone for 2 recordings in that time. Like, Left 4 Dead and Among Us took up half of those 2 months. Once he got back, though, we decided to recruit another member and give the podcast another shot. How did you feel about joining the crew initially?
I'm happy to be a part of a crew, and I'll show up when I can, but I'm probably not going to, actually do stuff, as has become evident by me missing Among Us recording, being in 2 videos and all that. But, yes, it generally feels pretty good to join the team.
What do you remember from the podcast episode?
I do remember the thumbnail. It was the, big Numnuts color. I had all the members sitting on like a couch or something. I had like a stool off to the side, and I think it was my bonded out and cheeked up picture.
None of us knew what the hell we were doing. And surprisingly, it still turned out pretty well. I think I was playing Warframe the entire time. I'm amazed I was able to stay on topic. I've done that for like every single like podcast recording and shit I've ever done.
It was such a mess, but I think it just encapsulated what Numnuts was perfectly. I remember the acrylic box bit during that episode. Dude, the story behind that is so fucking funny.
So it started at 3 a.m. when I was on the couch downstairs working on something, because it was when my sister was home. So when like it hit like 9 o'clock or some shit, I don't remember what it was, she'd go to bed in there. I was talking to Doc, you, and Buster, and there was an innuendo that was incredibly obvious that Buster didn't understand, that I was trying to like give him hints to make him understand it, and they were really fucking obvious hints too. And Doc is like cackling his fucking ass off, like giving also really obvious hints, and he didn't get it. And he's like, just explain it to me. I'm like, no, there's a box made of acrylic, and I'm putting you in it. Like it's just a solid, it's a solid cube of acrylic that you're like poured into, and you can't move until you get it right. I don't remember why this was so funny to us. It was 3 a.m. I guess that's why it was so funny to us.
After that, at some point, me, Gina, and Buster got together to play Uno. I had to rewatch the footage recently because I couldn't remember anything from it. It was absolute gold, though. There was a bit where we were doing 2v2, and I got the AI teammate, and he was selling so much, I just teamed up with Gina and Buster to just fuck him over. I think the reason I got scrapped was because Sora was meant to edit it, but he never did, so we just forgot about it. Really sad, though. It was a great video.
What happened with the Fortnite Festival video?
You remember more of that than I do. So that was my birthday, and I decided to drink a lot on my birthday. I think it was like 13 shots or something, and I had drank like half a case of hard cider. So I drank a lot, suffice to say. We had played a bunch of COD World at War, because I believe you bought that for me. And we played some of the campaign, which was really fun. I remember most of that. And then afterwards, we got on Festival at some point. I was so drunk. I have no goddamn memories of getting on the game. I don't have memories. I spent money that night as well. I spent a bunch of money on Fortnite because I logged in the next time and I had 3,100 V-Bucks left. Like I spent like $50 that night, apparently. At some point during while we were playing Festival, I just decided, all right, I'm done, and then just all for the game mid-song. I felt so sick the day after. Like, there was no way I was like drinking any alcohol for the rest of the fucking week.
One of the few videos I actually watched. That was good, that one. I remember there was a big thing that I had really bad connection to the rest of you because I live in Australia. Yeah, I'd just be sitting like floating on things that simply were not there for the rest of you. I think there was a section in it where it was me floating again with the song The Land Down Under by Men at Work, and it just played for like a solid 20 seconds or something. A very, very long time in a YouTube video for a song to be playing, is it not? Fond memories.
That was the most chaotic of them all. I don't think I've played that game much. Actually, I only with you guys. But I liked it a lot because of, well, the idea of you having to build the obstacles to not let the others win, so you could win yourself only and whatnot. It's a fun game, I think, and I think sometimes we made it unbeatable that we could not win the game, so that was interesting, to be honest.
Another one of those that was wrought with technical difficulties, but I that's a common theme for Numnuts recordings was technical difficulties. I just remember trying to sabotage people, and Odin teleporting with his Australian powers or some shit.
After we uploaded the chicken horse video, we all collectively hit this brick wall, and all of a sudden we were all busy. I just got back into school, and then I also just suddenly didn't have the motivation to edit anymore, which is actually still hitting me. I'm barely getting myself to edit this video right now.
Why were you busy around this time?
I wasn't. That's the best part. I was the only one that was actually able to show up at every single time, because it was like anytime after 7 or 9, I don't remember what it was when I would be able to do stuff, and that's when everybody else was able to. But it was like Buster was doing school. I mean, hell, half the people in there would like had school shit to work on. But yeah, I actually was the only one not busy.
I've been trying to forget most of that time, but it was probably because of school.
Well, I'm always busy, actually. It was more because of school, first of all. And second, because of the timing with my parents and everything. It's when I was in Mexico, I didn't really have that much free time, both because I got out of school quite late and I had things to do, or because my parents decided to go around the city and explore for hours, so I couldn't really do much every single day. It was more than anything uncertainty that I couldn't join or not. Not only that, but my parents deciding to tell me and to kind of ground me, because I was in their eyes being way too much on the PC, or since it was the middle of the week I shouldn't be on my PC or whatever. I shouldn't in their eyes be doing anything other than study besides the weekends that they technically were giving me 1-2 hours of playing and whatnot, which I definitely didn't really follow.
Well, that was my final year of college. So in the November period, I had exams and stuff to be preparing for, and other final assessments for like art and stuff in the weeks prior. Also on the 8th of November, 2024, at precisely 2 p.m, I was rear-ended by a tow truck, and I had to write off my car. And then I think 4 or 5 days later, my girlfriend broke up with me. No, I broke up with her. November was a bad month. And then work had started to pick up because it gets busy that time of year. September, October, I think it's still just more of that sort of doing assignments for school and preparing for the final exhibition for art, getting worried about all that stuff, work on the weekends. You know, all that good stuff. My birthday's in September, so maybe that played a little bit of a role there, because it ends up me being a bit busier on the weekends because there's a lot of birthdays around that time of year.
There were a couple recordings we did, and one of them was another Lethal Company episode. No one remembers anything of it. I even watched the footage again, and I forgot all of it already. Also around this time, the Bunker Buddies podcast was dead, and so we decided to bring Izzy from that group onto the Numnuts, since Gina and Buster were already on Numnuts.
Bunker Buddies was me, Izzy, and Buster's attempt at a podcast. The first one we did had fucking Destiny 2 footage over it. And then we tried to do like actual podcasts. We had good conversations or whatever. It just wasn't like super interesting. And for some reason the channel got shut down. Like YouTube killed the channel. And I don't know why. I never bothered to try and log back in to see. I mean, by that point, none of us, like, we were all too busy. We had a limited window where we could really make that happen, where all of our schedules lined up. I think one of those things where like we jumped into something too early with not enough planning.
How did you feel about Izzy joining the crew?
Who?
Isn't that the alcoholic one?
Sorry, I don't remember. I'm not good with names.
I don't think she was there for a single recording. It would have been fun to have her on the recordings, but she just was not there. Just another person that's just too busy, and her schedule just did not work with any of ours because she worked nights.
Sorry, see if you see this, I am not good with names.
I also completely forgot about this, but like a day after Izzy joined, Sora left the crew.
Why did you leave the Numnuts?
I don't actually remember at all. I barely even remember being part of it, like let alone just editing the Minecraft video. That's about all I remember from Numnuts is the Minecraft video. But I don't, like, in my mind I don't associate that with Numnuts for some reason. So I don't remember really now.
If you were given the chance, would you return?
If I were, I'd want to get my YouTube channel career started, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to join a group channel before having something of my own to put out there. So I'm fairly established first, if that makes sense. But I would if I managed to do that.
And then there was one more person that joined the crew. Most of you watching probably know about him.
How did you feel about guests joining the crew?
He did?
I don't even know who that is. I never cared.
I don't really have much words about it. We're both very good friends and everything, so like I don't really see it like something extraordinary, I guess. Being honest, I was already expecting it. I was already like, they're gonna invite guests at some point, I'm pretty sure about it. After all, he's a big YouTuber and whatnot.
I mean, yes, chill. I have no problems with him. But it's also, he never was there for any recording. He's the busiest motherfucker in that whole server, or was at the time at least. And it was like freak accident that he was actually able to be there for the second podcast recording.
How did you feel about joining initially?
It was a little bit interesting, I guess. I mean, I wasn't really part of that much other than just like one like podcast kind of thing, but it was nice, I guess, even if there wasn't much happening when I was around.
Like Guest said, we tried to do another podcast episode.
I remember I was playing Duviri the whole time, like the Duviri mode in Warframe. I remember us asking lots of questions and getting like losing track of whose turn it was to ask a question and stuff like that.
I can't say I remember much about the content, but I do remember that I literally just finished like some kind of Yakuza game, and then I joined for the podcast. I think I was maybe a little late to it, but I think we were just talking about like some random stuff. I think I was pretty quiet because I didn't really have much to contribute, but it was very interesting to be a part of a podcast.
The only reason the podcast never got uploaded was because I was just too lazy to edit the couch image to have Guest and, to remove the other guys, since it was just me, Gina, Cam, and Guest. I was just way too lazy and just didn't want to edit it, so it just never got uploaded because of that. Nut-numbing music was something I just made randomly and decided, you know what, let's upload it to Numnuts, it's fitting. And that's it, there isn't much to it. Also during that month, we were debating on doing some Christmas covers, but once again, nothing happened. Then like a couple months later, when I got done with my March Insanity tournament, I decided I would try to revive the Numnuts. One of the first things I did was cut some members though. We had about 8 members at the time, and since we only ever got around like 4 people in a recording at a time, it just made it easier to plan and schedule with less people.
Yeah, that like sucks, I guess. Surprised I'm still there, to be honest.
I don't think I was paying attention to the group around this time, as well. If it was from November of last year to like September of this year, I wasn't feeling great.
I think it was necessary. Like, lots of shit with people's scheduling just didn't work very well for doing big group sessions. I think like keeping it down to like 4 people was a good thing fundamentally, just for the sake of actually getting things done. Because I think we always did best in those recordings for games that were like 4 people. Like Lethal Company and Left 4 Dead were the best ones we've done, I think. But games like that, where it was like 4-player co-op, was shit I think we did the best. And cutting down on some members helped with that. Obviously nothing against anybody who like, because it was all people that were like mutually cool with it, because it was their schedules weren't working for them to actually show up to any recordings, so it's just taking their name off of the paperwork. Basically just cut it down to people who can actually show up to every session.
There was only 3 people that got cut. The first was JB, and that was because he already silently left the servers. Second was Guest, but that was by his choice. And then Izzy, who was too offline to notice anyway.
I thought it was coming, to be honest. I wasn't around that much, so it's kind of expected.
Being honest, I think it was more like an accident, not that I wanted to leave. There was a time in which I started leaving a lot of servers and whatnot. I was actually planning on leaving Discord entirely. I wasn't doing very well mentally, so I left a lot of servers and whatnot, and I think in the commotion I left the Numnuts server at some point, and I never really asked to be added back, because I think I actually left in the moment when we were barely doing anything, so I kind of thought that it had ended, basically.
If you were given the chance, would you return?
Yeah, sure, why not? I wouldn't mind if I were to be invited again. I would rejoin, because first of all, I don't have much to do in my day anymore. Not only that, but I think it would be fun to redo and to make more videos. After all, it's been some time since I haven't really talked to many people in Discord, and I would like to have connection with certain people again, and some of those people were in Numnuts, so...
I think JB, as hard as scheduling was with him, he was fun to have in the sessions. He's got a very different energy from the rest of us, I think. I think having a bunch of people with different mannerisms and energies and shit made for a fun dynamic. Because I don't think like Left 4 Dead would have been as funny without him in the recordings. I mean, it's not like he's cracking jokes left and right, but I think that his very, I guess, deadpan way of saying things and his very straightforward delivery just made it funnier, especially because it was juxtaposed to our stupid asses.
However, just as we were getting rolling again, something terrible happened. On April 25th, 2025, we lost Buster the Dummy in a car crash. This was devastating to everyone.
Buster died. This is my first time hearing about this. I am upset to hear. That's my good friend Buster Bustin' Doo-Dummy. We shared many a fond memory.
I think the writers just didn't know how to deal with his character progression, and the actor just like he left the show very suddenly, so they kind of just killed off his character in just some freak car accident, and I think that was a little hasty. Rather than, I think the writers should have gone with the you know Blue's Clues, right? You know how they switched.
There was one more recording we did, however. It was me and Gina, and we originally planned to play this game called We Were Here. It's like a co-op game, but the servers for it weren't working, so we just decided to move on to Smash Bros.
And then the half of the Smash Bros footage just stopped existing, and I was drunk for most of the Smash Bros, and I was doing a Solid Snake impression and a Sonic impression the whole time.
What happened was I accidentally kicked my capture card while recording, which froze the footage, and I didn't notice until like half an hour later. Once we got done with that though, we played some Fortnite where I forgot everything that happened. There's a reason why we are making this video. I would not like to, but need to announce that Numnuts is going to be taking an indefinite hiatus. What this means is that Numnuts is officially disbanding, but that we might join back together in the future. We just don't know when. We realize that we do not have the time, energy, and tools to keep this channel running. We might finish and upload some of the scrapped videos in the next few months if we feel like it, and maybe use the brand here and there, but for right now we're putting it to rest. We will always cherish these memories that we have made with this channel, and this video was made to make sure we remember those memories. And I want to thank everyone who took part in this documentary, who took part in Numnuts in any way, shape, or form, and whoever supported the channel by subbing, watching our videos, or even telling someone about our channel. I'm so grateful for everyone that helped me make this channel happen, and though I have to say goodbye to it, it will always have a special place in my heart. What are your thoughts on the indefinite hiatus?
Well, it's probably for the best. I haven't really seen much activity from the Numnuts, so putting on hiatus until getting that motivation to really continue is probably for the best.
It was bound to happen eventually, and I'm just giving my honest opinion here. I don't think Numnuts will ever make a full return, because other people might be doing different things in the future. And personally, I wish everybody who was a Numnut, except Odin, a wonderful time.
There are things that happen, so I'm not really impressed, not gonna lie. Yeah, everything has its end, and even though this is not a complete definite end, I mean, life is like that. Just things don't always stay forever, and sometimes just life doesn't give us the space for time to continue certain things, and those things have to be put in standby for a long time. So I wouldn't say I'm surprised, sad, or excited or anything like that. It's just things that happen. That's how it works, and who knows if it does come back in the future at some point and everything. Who knows, maybe it actually blows up even more, we get lucky or something and it gets better. But that's how things work. Yet again, life's like that. It's normal, nothing extraordinary or anything, just life. It all falls on life.
Doesn't really affect me that much, to be honest. I kind of wasn't doing much with it anyway. Maybe my nuts will finally once again gain feeling, and it won't feel like I've slept with a rubber band tied around them.
It's a bummer because I like doing the recording sessions, but like if everyone's busy, everyone's busy. Like there's not a ton that we can do about that, and I much prefer a hiatus to just outright being done with it, because this is probably the most fun I've had working on a project like this. Because like regardless of how the sessions go, they're fun as fuck. Like, because we tend to fuck up recordings so often that I think we've done like probably 4 times as many recordings than we have videos, because we fuck up so many recordings and streams and shit. But every single time we have fun.
I'm kind of sad about the hiatus because we hardly ever made videos for the Numnuts, and finally get all the people together and the Lethal Company streams, and then you realize, damn, this is really fun. I wish we could have done this more. It's like kind of sad we couldn't.
It's necessary. As much as I love this group, these people, and these videos, it was bound to happen at some point. But at least they'll still live on through the people themselves. Like, I always have these guys on my streams and videos all the time already, so not much will really change. Do you think you'll ever finish that banner?
Yes.
What do you think the future holds for the channel?
That one's a tough one, honestly. I do think that it will, like pick up whatever it left off at. But at the moment, I'm guessing because of busy schedules, it's kind of hard to exactly tell. But I do think that in the future, it'll do some really great stuff. That's for sure.
I'm very optimistic about it. It can go a number of ways. It depends on what the group decides, what they feel like doing, and just their overall interests, really. And it also depends on what exactly they're going to be doing in a few years, because knowing myself, you could get less time than you have right now to work on it, so that might be a factor. But again, I'm very optimistic for what the future of Numnuts could hold.
Okay, I don't think there's much of a future in this, because I've been seeing like group YouTubes haven't really been, they don't have a lot of longevity for years. Like some, yes, but like small ones, they don't really have a lot of longevity unless they have like huge creators that then create a group. But who knows? Maybe it might get massive.
I mean, it really depends how much it may take for it to kick back and everything, like whenever you guys decide to restart, or well, not restart, but kickstart again the whole idea, the whole channel and everything, like, and with who, with what kind of games, with what kind of things, even if it's not games, even if it's just reacting or just podcast, or I don't know. It really depends on all of that, so I cannot really say, I think this is gonna happen, or oh no, it with this, that it's gonna be put in standby, it will be the end of the channel or anything. I don't know. I cannot really say any of that. I'm not the one to say that type of people to say that something is gonna happen if there's no proof. So I'm not sure. I mean, again, I guess it really depends on when it gets out of standby and who's in it and what is done in the future.
Man, I got no idea. You saying we're going on a quote indefinite hiatus, that could mean we simply never pick it up again, or come back in like a few years when people know what they're doing. And if we do, we're sure to make millions.
I don't really know what's going to happen with it, if we're going to actually get back to doing anything with it eventually. If we do, it'll probably be a while, but I hope we do.
Once we're able to work on it more consistently and get an actual schedule going, we're going places with it, because we've got a good group for it. And I think the biggest thing with channels like this, people like watching people have fun. and we're having fun doing it. One of my favorite group channels, probably my favorite like total, is called Party Crashers. And it's a bunch of guys that started a group channel because like they're all friends, and they started doing a lot of like Mario Party videos together on each other's channels. And they're like, fuck it, let's just make a group channel for us playing party games. So they did, and it's just these guys arguing and having fun, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And I feel like we got that same sort of energy with these videos. And like some of the most fun I've had just watching videos, like even though I was there for all of the recordings, like I was looking forward to every single Numnuts video coming out, because I love the editing. I love the seeing other people's perspectives on it, because I mean I was having fun from my perspective. It's fun to see that from other people's perspectives. It's good content. Simply put. It's a lot of fucking fun doing these recordings, and I hope that we can keep doing it.
It's a hard question to ask about anything, because nothing ever lasts forever, even if it makes a comeback. We may bring it back and succeed with it, we may never pick it back up again, or the Earth explodes and there's no memory of it ever existing. But I think what matters is that it happened, and it was great when it was around.
Thank you.